What's up, guys? This is Rob, aka Memory Lapse, and this video is going to go over some of my black discard deck games. I recorded some games earlier, and I just wanted to show you how the deck plays out. It's probably be used in my primer, so let's just get started here. Alright, yeah, buggy VLC media player. Here we go. Alright, so here we go, MTGO. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Alright, I get to go first. It's a pretty decent hand starting out. 4 1cc discard spells. Nice range of different things I can discard with them, so we'll see how it goes. Now he discards, or he mulligans to 5 here, so right away I'm starting with a nice little boost. So he's got no idea what he's in for. You can catch your opponents off guard with this strategy, and you'll see here. So he's playing a Tempo, a UWR Tempo. He's got, even with the discard, that's a pretty solid hand to start out with. He's got his Remand and his Geist, and of course the Flash Aven Mind Sensor. So we'll go ahead and pick Geist here into discard. You make sure you don't want to pick something like Remand there, because that makes, you've got the duress in your hand, so I don't want to waste that. If I was to discard that, then duress is dead card for me. So okay, so I'll cast my duress here, get rid of his Remand. He drew a land last turn. Thoughtseize takes care of his Mind Sensor, and yeah, he's left with 2 lands in his hand, and not really great prospects at this point for him. So we'll see how it goes here. Now, depending on what I rip here, I might either cast the Ensnaring Bridge or the Raven's Crime. You got to be careful though, because he could have ripped a counterspell. So I choose to, because I ripped a land, I go for the Raven's Crime instead. And he'll be forced to, I can get rid of both of his cards by discarding the land card. So that's why I did that instead of going for the Ensnaring Bridge. So let's see what he chooses to do here. He's got 1 card left, so it's gone no matter what. Let's see. He pays. He might be Lightning Helixing me or something. Oh, that's a stupid move. Okay, that's a misplay on his part. He chooses to pay 2 life to remand that back to my hand, and I just recast it. Maybe he thinks it's like Flashback, where if you remand it, it gets exiled. But Retrace is not like Flashback. You can get it back in your hand. So important distinction there. So he just paid 2 life to learn that lesson, if that's what he was doing. Alright, so he's got 1 card in hand. We'll see what I rip here. If I rip a land, I'm probably going to use Raven's Crime. And yep, there we go. So, land ripped, and keep his hand empty. I have no reason to play the Ensnaring Bridge yet. He has no creature threats. So, why risk getting it counterspelled? So I just, I'm playing the long game here. I'm controlling his hand. And you start to see now, I've gotten a lot of value out of this Raven's Crime. This is how it's just a 1cc discard spell, but it's in its own way a soft lock by itself. It turns every land you rip, instead of being a useless rip, now it's a discard. So it's a great card. That's why I have 4 of it in there. I choose at this point to cast the Ensnaring Bridge. I didn't have a land. I thought the odds were pretty good that he didn't have a counterspell, considering he's got the Remand and the Mana Leak in the graveyard. So I thought my odds were pretty safe there. There's another Raven's Crime, so there goes whatever card he's got left. We'll see what he does here. And he had a Thundermaw Hellkite. Okay, so that was totally safe for casting that Ensnaring Bridge, and I won't have to worry about any more of those, because the bridge will protect me from not only his Celestial Colonnades, but also any critters he's got coming out, including Geist of St. Traft or Snapcaster Mage even at this point. So I'm sitting pretty good here. Let's see what oh, and there's a Shrieking Affliction. So now if I was only using 4 racks, I would not have ripped a finisher at this point. So, we were talking about Shrieking Affliction in the pretty heated debate in the main modern forum. So here we get to see it in action a little bit. Ripped another land. The land is not a useless rip. Just go ahead and start casting your Raven's Crimes. So he remands it. Maybe he's trying to get a lightning bolt. We'll see. He wanted that draw off the remand, and he does make some. So that's a correct play in this case. And he's going to lose a card anyway, so he casts it. He ends up ripping a lightning helix and getting some kind of use out of the card. But he's in trouble now because he's got no way to attack me on the ground. It's essentially a race at this point. He has to race my Shrieking Affliction while I'm tearing his hand apart. More lands are more Raven's Crimes. So that's cool. We'll see what he was holding on to there. No, he just gives up. Alright, so that's the end of game 1. This is a 3-game set, and it goes to the 3rd game, so I will go ahead and show you the 2nd game, which I lose. Got nothing to hide here. I don't know why that freaking VLC media player is so buggy like that, but here we go. Alright, so let's see, I got a nice starting hand here. And if I remember correctly, I took control of this game, but I ended up losing anyway. So we'll take a look and see if we can learn anything from this game, which I'll tell you right now it's going to be a loss, obviously. Goes to game 3. Alright, so I start with the IOK. So I have 3 choices there, the Mana Leak, the Click, and the Lightning Bolt. And so the correct choice here, in my opinion, is to choose the Lightning Bolt because I have a Duress in hand. And if I choose the Mana Leak, it might seem like the correct choice at first, but I choose the Lightning Bolt because next turn I can just cast the Duress, and if he wants to Mana Leak it, he's got to pay mana to do that. So it accomplishes the same thing. Like if he tries to counterspell your discard, well, that's the same as me discarding the counterspell, but he paid mana to do it. So he just had to pay 2 life to keep his Shockland in play so that he could even cast this. So there's the Duress. Now he's forced to cast the Mana Leak here. If he doesn't, I'll get destroyed anyway, and potentially whatever else. I have the option of looking into his hand, maybe getting something better. So he just paid 2 life to have a card discarded is the net result there, which is pretty good. I go ahead and attack him again with the Thoughtseize here, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, so there's the Thoughtseize. I'm going to rip down that Vendilion Click. See, now, I take out that Click because I don't want him, like, playing a land on turn 3 and casting the Click right away and either dumping my Bridge or my Shrieking Affliction. I need both of those cards, so that's why I didn't save the Thoughtseize for something else, because I'm not really worried about the Click per se. It's not going to hurt me with my Bridge, but I don't want him to dump my Bridge, and I definitely don't want him to dump my Shrieking either. I don't know if you can hear my cats fighting in the background. They always fight at this time of night for some reason. Alright, so he plays 3 land. He's paying more life. Let's see, he'll probably... I don't know what he'll cast here. The Engineered Explosives. That's what he ripped. Alright, so that's a good card. He sided this in. And that's a good card against me. It's going to take out my all of my finishers in one fell swoop, pretty much. So I'm going to have to play around this. I'm going to have to put one out. I'm going to have to put one out so that he has to blow that explosives. So I know what he's got in his hand, and I know what he doesn't. He doesn't have any counter spells. So now is a good time to play the ensnaring bridge. Um, okay. Well, I'm protected from creatures now at this point. Let's take a look. He's playing lands. I think that's a bad move. I think he should hang on to his lands unless he absolutely needs them. Alright, so here's the rack. So I'm going to play the rack and hang on to my affliction and start whittling him down to try and get him to pop that engineered explosive. Alright, let's see what happens now. He starts taking some damage from the rack, so at least he's feeling pressure from it at this point. I'd really like to see a Ravenscrime or a Liliana, to be honest with you. Rip a Duress. Now, why haven't I played that land? That's you might have noticed I've had that land for a few turns. Well, I'm hoping that at some point I'm going to get a Ravenscrime here. And I'll be able to, double Ravenscrime him with it. That does not happen, sadly, here in this game. So, but, it's a technique you might want to consider. Don't just play all your lands arbitrarily. You might need those if you rip the Ravenscrime. And, you want to get some extra value out of your lands. So their lands are kind of like discard eventually if you hang on to them, if you can. I mean, sometimes you got to play them to make sure your ensnaring bridge is keeping you safe. But so figure out how many you can hold safely. All right, so he's got Electrolyze and Lightning Helix here. I definitely want the Electrolyze because that draws a card. The Helix is just damage, from my perspective. So, it kind of looks like I'm doing pretty well here. Other than the engineered explosives, he doesn't really have much on me. He's got no creature threats and no threats of that sort at this point. But sadly, since I do not end up drawing any I'll give you a sneak preview. I remember this game now. I don't draw any Lilianas and I don't draw any Ravenscrimes. The game slips away from me, and it goes a long time. I think it gets down to like almost half the deck. I get through almost half of my deck without seeing one Ravenscrime or Liliana here. So that's going to be your exception to the rule. And what he ends up doing is just burning me. It's a UWR Tempo deck, so if you let him get through half of his deck, that's a lot of burn spells. And I decided nothing in, by the way. I have Leyline of Sanctity in my side, but I just kind of wanted to show you the raw deck in action. If I was going to side something out for it, I probably would have dumped the Disfigures or something like that. But this is just so you can see the deck working and see what it does, even around the hate. See, he put in hate, so I'm going to have to play around that. So, only choice is Lightning Helix there. He might have been able to cast that and done something useful, but, so he's taking damage now. It looks like he's going to pop. Okay, so he pops his Engineered Explosive. So now I'm free to play my Shrieking Affliction and start putting him on a clock, and any others that I get at this point I can play. So let's see what happens. I know what doesn't happen. I don't win, but I didn't really want to see another ensnaring bridge. So what to do here? I guess I just cast it to get it out of my hand. There's no point in casting the Shrieking Affliction on this turn because he's got 2 cards in his hand. So, there's a case where, the rack would have been better. So it's arguable which is better, Shrieking Affliction or the rack. They both have their ups and downs. All right, so Snapcaster, and he'll probably like Electrolyze. Yep, yeah, he chooses Electrolyze. So this is kind of where the game starts to slip away. He's not overwhelming me by any stretch of the imagination, but because I can't get any kind of a lock, aka either Liliana or Raven's Crime going. I can't close him out. So it gets close. I think I get him down to like 5 or 6 or something. So let's see. He gets a free little whack at me with a stupid Snapcaster, and I start drawing lands here. I know I start drawing a huge, gigantic clump of lands. Let's see if I can fast forward this a little bit. Alright, video. Alright, let's speed it up. I want to do more faster than that. Alright, I'm just going to speed this up. Alright, so I ripped Thoughtseize. Let me speed up more than that. Alright. He's taking a long time here. Even though I've sped it up, he thinks about that Thoughtseize for a long while. Alright, so he Snapcasters. This is a good move on his part. I take 2 damage from my Thoughtseize. I dump the click. I might as well. I'm going to take 2 damage anyway from the lightning bolt. Or if I dump his lightning bolt, I only save myself 1 damage, so I might as well just dump the click. I'm trying to. If I had the Raven's Crime, I'd be so much better off here. But I rip an Inquisition. All right, so he just casts all this stuff. So he's got an empty hand. I do have a Shrieking on the board. So it's a race. I'm at 6 though. There's a rack. Things start to look up here. He's getting hurt. But this is where it all goes to hell. Right here, I rip an insane amount of lands. So there's 1. He's down at 5 now. He can't attack me, but all he's got to do is rip 2 burns, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix, or Snapcaster, or whatever. Yeah, more racks are not helping me at this point. I'm just trying to empty my hand. I save the rack in my hand in case he engineers explosives. I still have 1 as a backup, and I dump the Disfigure instead. Yay, more lands. Still no Raven's Crime. Alright, let's see what's going on. He's now building up his hand, so he's getting out of threat range, and the Leyline of Sanctity. So this is where you can see it fell apart. Now I dragged it out a long time, and that's pretty good against a deck like this that they're gonna kill you in 6-7 turns is what they're aiming to. They might drag it out a little bit longer than that, but the tempo decks are made to stay ahead of you and constantly apply pressure. And although he wins, my plan was pretty solid, which was to, if I can hold him off this long, most games I'm going to win that. I couldn't get the Lily, and I couldn't get the Raven's Crime. So and you see he starts burning me here. I'm at 3. He's at 4. More lands. Look at all those lands, man. I rip like I got half my lands right there, literally half my lands, and another Shrieking not helping me here. I have half my lands on the table. I've been through almost half my deck, but yeah, there you go. So he wins that one. Again, I don't side anything, and we'll just go right on to game 3 because I don't know if I show you the game that I lose, instead of just cutting that part out, because I just want to show you how the deck plays out. And even though I lost, I think I made I think I had some strategy success. Like, the deck did what it was supposed to do. It bought me long enough time where, in most of the time, if you can survive that long, you're going to win a game like that with your, you'll keep their hand empty and just bleed them to death. Alright, so Raven's Crime right away. Looks like he mulliganed to 6 card. He's probably looking for a ley line. Doesn't seem like he got one. Or he definitely didn't get one, obviously. So we'll see what he does here. He discards a land to my Raven's Crime. It's always a good sign. See, that's the thing is, early on discard, they have to get rid of their lands, but at the same time, they have to have something to play. So Wrench Mind is evil right now on turn 2. It's a very nasty play. So we'll see what he discards. Whatever it is, he's going to be left with 3. I'll see 2 more lands, so 4 lands accounted for. If he's got more lands in his hand and he plays a card next turn, that's going to put him at 1 card. And that will trigger one card will trigger both of those Shrieking Afflictions. So he plays, it would have been 2 cards, sorry. My bad, miscalculation there. He draws a card, of course. So we'll see what he gets with the Inquisition. Okay, so he remands it, so that'll be another Inquisition. Let's see what he's got in his hand. Double Geist of St. Wynn, so he is running those. That's down, so he's got 1 land and a Geist. So next turn, what he'll probably do is play a land, take some damage, and cast the Geist, if I had to guess. Pretty obvious. I mean, not much else he can do at this point. He's got to try and get something on the board. So that's fine. Now, if I rip a land here, I'll cast a Liliana. If I don't rip a land, I'll cast both Shrieking Afflictions and outrace him. I do rip the land. Here's Liliana, so I can make him sacrifice that. And this is the point where I think he just calls it quits because he knows. I mean, I've got a made hand there. Just figures, didn't need him at all. I could have easily sided those out. I could have sided those out to put in the ley line. The guy's got a heavy burn package, so I could have done either ley line. I could have done Ley Line of the Void or Ley Line of Sanctity. Both kind of hurt him. I also have Grafdigger's Cage in there. So let's take a look at the deck itself. I don't mind showing you guys exactly what's going on here. Yeah, I got so many decks. I think this is the one I've been working off lately. So yeah, there's the deck for you guys if anybody wants the list. There it is right there. I'll also post it in the comments. It's nice. It has a pretty low mana curve, as you can see. It's got mostly 1cc spells. Wrench Mind, Ensnaring Bridge, and Liliana the Veil are the only spells that cost more than that. So, 22 lands is kind of thin. I could probably even go to 21 with a deck that uses so little mana as this. But I have 22 because, I need to get 3. Like, I don't need more than 3, but damn it, I need 3. Absolutely. I have to be able to play these. And I have to be able to have 3 to empty my hand of all my spells. So, you know, 22 seems like about a good amount. You know, I might tweak that a little bit. Um, but you know, you can adjust to taste. This is an all black version, by the way. You can splash a bunch of different colors here. Different colors to give you different sideboard options. If nothing else, you know, white is kind of a, you know, you put in fetch lands in one godless shrine, and you've got access to a whole bunch of white sideboard. Or red. Red gives you access to Pyroclasm, which is a really great card, I believe, in Modern right now. Take a look at a deck that does just that. So you see, it's about the same thing. I dumped the four, what do you call it? I dumped the four disfigures for four pyroclasms, and I you know, tweak a couple of things out here and there to make room for three more lightning bolts. So this is kind of like my build that I use when I'm expecting to fight a lot of robots or frickin' Grull or something along those lines. I use this as a type of build. So you see there's versatility here. You know, I've got Blood Moon in the side to fight Tron. Evil Presence to fight Tron too. I could easily, instead of Blood Moon, I could make this a Sowing Salts. That's kind of nasty, but that's like 4 CC. I don't know. It could go either way. You make your own call there. I think I was just trying this out, really. The Sowing Salts could go there. Extirpate is another one. You know, if you can get one of their Tron pieces in the graveyard somehow with Raven's Crime or whatever, you can extirpate it and never have to worry about them assembling Tron. So there's room to explore, and that's the part that nobody seems to be getting. You know, these straight up hand. This is a hand control deck, straight up. The last deck I showed you is a hand control deck. You know, there's no two ways about it. It doesn't attempt to control the board. It does not attempt to you know, out aggro somebody. Like this, you know, typical mono black controls. They get rid of the bad stuff with discard and black removal suite, and then they beat you with kind of like little annoying critters like Phyrexian Crusader, or you know, Gatekeeper of Malachor, or whatever the hell else you want, Bloodghast. You know, there's a bunch of different routes to go. This doesn't attempt to do that. It attempts to completely control the hand and beat you with rack effects. Pretty simple game plan, but this type of strategy is not being employed currently or explored, and I think there's a lot of potential here. So that's my video, guys. I know it's epic in length. If you've watched any of my other videos on any of my other subjects, none of my videos are short. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you feel like it. Appreciate it.